Schönen guten Tag, meine lieben Deutschlernenden. Good day, my dear German learners. It's a pleasure to be here. And in this module, we are going to go through 24 lessons or clips dealing with an aspect of the German language which I consider the easiest in a certain way. For you at the beginning, it might be a little bit trickier, but the syntax is actually one of the easier aspects of the German language. What is a syntax? A syntax is simply a set of rules which determines how the words are arranged in any given language. Any language has a syntax which developed mostly in the 19th century in our modern, mostly European languages. And it simply determines how the words are arranged in a sentence. And when you master the rules which we have, you are already 85% right. And then you are actually not that far away from a native speaker. It's true, syntax changes over time. This is quite good for you because this means that you can actually afford to make slight mistakes and they might actually be interpreted right. Because maybe 50 years ago, it was right. You can never tell. Syntax comes from Greek and syn means together. Maybe you know the word to synchronize something. And taxis does not mean that you are going to get an Uber, but it is simply inner nature or structure. And the German word for syntax is Satzbau. Der Satz means sentence or phrase, and der Bau is construction or construction site even, if you want. A slight overview, what kind of syntax we have in the world. Many languages have subject, object, verb, among other the two basic languages of our European language environment. In Latin, if you have had Latin at school, maybe you remember that you have the verb at the end. 42%, so almost half. The other half is subject, verb, object. You know this from English mostly. In English, it is actually quite strict. You have to start with the subject because you have no cases. And then comes the predicate, the verb, and then the object, also French, Italian, Russian, many, many languages. And then there is a small group where you start with the verb. As you see here, I included German in the middle one, subject, verb, object. This is not 100% right. We're going to deal with that a little bit later. So how is, just in a couple of seconds, the Satzbau, the syntax in German? The standard variation is indeed subject, verb, object, but here is the very good news for you. It is actually all about verb. In the German language, the conjugated verb comes on the second spot, in a main clause at least, and you can actually start with whatever you want to, as long as you have the verb on the second spot. And this indeed gives you flexibility, but it also means that you avoid mistakes. Even if you think you have made one, you have not made it because the flexibility allows you to make it. Very well done. This was our brief introduction. Now 23 small clips are giving you, or at least I try to give you, an idea what the Satzbau, the syntax, is about in the German language. And you will see it is not very difficult. See you next time. Bye-bye.